Afternoon adventures. That's right. You know what time it is. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's time to go and adventure in our favorite show of the day. John's Dungeon Corner, coming to you live from the collective right here in Altamont Springs, Florida, where it's a nice sunny 83 degrees. I don't know what the rest of the country's like, but oh boy, we're having some fun in the sun. Happy Friday, Sarah. Look at Sarah. She's like lickety split right on top of it. I love it. I love it. So, what have we got planned today? Today is the first show of March, first Friday of March. And we've been doing some adventuring. Have we not? Have we not? Like my shirt, drop and give me 20. Woo! Brings back some memories. But I do roll out of 20, so that's A-okay. All right, so here we go. Let's start, as always, with the new stuff that came in this week. Now, from Pathfinder, which, by the way, we use a lot in Dungeons & Dragons because I love their map boards. You guys know I love these map boards. So this one is the new one. It's the Winter Forest. Really cool. I'm going to bring it up close because these are the kind of things that I like, right? So here we go. There it is. The Winter Forest, two-sided mat, dry erase, wet erase. Beautiful. Put them together. Buy two of them, put them together. Woo, you got yourself a story going on there. I love these mat boards. I mean, these mats are great. You can write on them. You can put things on them. You can put the little sticky things on them. Antonio, how you doing, bud? Welcome to the show. Glad to see that you made it. All right. I'm glad you made it. Just showing off some of the new mat boards. So, and then they got this really neat, and you know, the neat thing about Pathfinder is that it's, I guess this is version, I'm not sure. It used to be 3.75. Now I guess you would consider it, I don't know, they're 5.25 or 4.75. I'm not sure. But they got this treasure vault that came out. And for those of you who are dying to get your hands on some cool treasures, I mean, they got magical ammunition. Let's see what's next over in here. Assistive items such as, oh, why am I trying to do this like this? Y'all know I can't see. Let me help myself out, right? Let me see what we got here. All right. The Dungeon Master glasses go on. They make me much more intelligent. Elixirs like the Blood Booster. Oh, boy. Wait a minute. We got some crazy stuff in here. Let's see. We got the Ghost Delivery Fulu, whatever that may be. All right. Some of this stuff is interesting. You could actually use, you know, Spring Heal, the Verdant Branch, the Spyglass Eye. Magical tattoos, for those of you who might want a tattoo, if your character wants a tattoo. Staves, the Boreal Staff, the Chronomancer Staff, the Composer Staff, the Beast Staff. Then we got the Wand of Refracting Rays, Wand of Shattering Images, Wand of Toxic Blaze. Okay. And then it tells you the secrets of crafting. We're going to leave that alone. But anyway, it looks cold in that location. Hey, brother, how you doing, Willie? Willie joining us from cold New York. But by the way, second edition, there's a treasure vault for those of you who really like the hardbound, leather-looking gold foil. There it is. All right, very nice, very nice. A lot of people have asked, why do you sit there and put Pathfinder things on the show? I said, well, to be honest with you, I use a lot of the Pathfinder things to help me, items and things to help me out in Dungeons and Dragons in my campaigns. I mean, some of the miniatures that I use are Pathfinder miniatures, technically, you know, but I love them. Their goblins look a little bit different, so they help me create the atmosphere of, oh, look at this other goblin tribe that you haven't seen before, right? Because their ears are a little longer, their heads are bigger. The Pathfinder goblin miniatures are. And I think that's cool. I mean, hey, I've used things from other games altogether that are board games, all right? So no harm, no foul. It's like I said, you could be diverse and use a lot of different things. Now, so talking about diverse, I brought that up for a reason. Hey, here's my studio producer, Danny. You guys know him. If you don't, come by the collective and meet him. There he is. He's probably got something important and wise to say.
I just wanted to show. I'm watching you.
Oh, he's watching
and
me.
if you leave a like, it's super appreciated. I know
Yeah, leave a like.
You know, guys.
Pretend that you like me.
We got a lot of viewers today. See, we keep
Yeah, that's why I'm around. See,
Yeah.
As long as you guys keep viewing and leaving comments, and even if you watch the show afterwards, do you know that one day I had like 70 after views.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
wow.
That's why
I
we
wish
put it on
I wish I
YouTube.
had him live.
Yeah,
like that,
because
right?
on Facebook it's like all the live viewers. YouTube, all the later viewers. That's
Ah, is that what it is?
that's
See,
why,
there you go.
yeah.
I don't even keep track of that. I just do the show and have a good time.
John's gonna become a celebrity. He's not even gonna know it.
Yeah, probably not. Well, thank you, Danny, for stopping by.
We love you.
Yeah, I love the story. You know, you guys are like my extended family. I mean, I've got what? Danny and Brendan and Brenna and Nick and oh my gosh, it's just you guys got to come and meet these people that I talk about. I mean, you got to meet Danny, but meet them like for real in person. They're wonderful people. They really are. Very helpful. And I've always told you, if they can't help you with what you're actually asking, they'll find someone or call around and find the answer out for you. That's what I love about the store. They really treat you good. They go out of the way to help you. Okay. So, all right. So talking about diversity. This show is going to be kind of like a little bit of this and a little bit of that. That's what I promised you. So in the first month, we talked the game, the DM, putting things together, how to run this game. We kind of did a little walkthrough. Then we went on to the player characters, and we kind of like talked about, hey, here's what you want to do when you put your character together. And we did like a little walkthrough. I created the character, and then we kind of wrapped it up with, hey, there's a lot more out there. And I showed you some things that helped me along the way and still help me to this day when I play D&D. That's why I got this big gold bag up here, all right, and a bunch of stacked stuff behind it. So the first thing is I want to show you kind of like, as far as the DM, this is my world of Eldritch Kingdoms, okay? This is a big folder. I keep all my stuff in it. And in the campaign that I'm running, all right, at home, this is a different campaign altogether. This is my at-home campaign. It has about 10 players in it. I set it up. Yes. Well, okay, the Dungeons & Dragons, my brother just reminded me that the Dungeons & Dragons movie is coming out March 35th. What are we doing? Well, unfortunately for the collective, we normally go out and watch these movies as a group, and we may afterwards. All right, I'm not going to talk for the collective, but I think that's what they're planning. Afterwards, they're going to try if they can find the tickets in the theater. As far as us here, a group of us are going out, family and whoever wants to come are going to go out after the 31st, because on the 31st, I will be at the Riverwalk Theaters for their two premiere shows, the 6 o'clock and the 8 o'clock shows. I will be there running Dungeons and Dragons for anybody who wants to come in. I'll be running a short little one-shot adventure, quick. I'll be introducing people to Dungeons and Dragons at the Riverwalk, talking about Dungeons and Dragons, and hey, that's what I'm going to be doing. The crew here at the collective, unfortunately, cannot be at the premiere because they are going to be at MegaCon, which starts that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So they're tied up that whole weekend. Plus, they still got to run the store. So there's just too much stuff going on to be able to do a collective show where we normally go watch it together as a big group. Hopefully that may happen later on. No guarantees, and I don't have any information about that, but that's what normally happens. So, brother, if you want to come down that weekend, come on down and we'll go watch Dungeons and Dragons together. What is this special edition? John Teslo? Oh, John. Okay, so the special edition of the Treasure Vault is right here. I'll show you off. So you've got the Treasure Vault that comes in this nice manual. I like the way they do these small. It's kind of hard for me to read, but I still like it because it's very compact. Now, the special edition here is the Treasure Vault in a hardbound faux leather with the gold stylized writing. I love that stuff. It looks very pretty. Look at that. It looks very clean. And it's much bigger print, so I can read it really well. I love that stuff. So that's, I call it a special edition, John, because I always got cool stuff going on, special things like these special editions that come out. So I put that on there now because I do talk about certain things that are happening here at the collective. So it's kind of like a special edition. It doesn't happen every day, no, but I can't keep remembering the changes. So I just put special edition. And hey, see, you saw it and say, hey, what's going on with this special edition? And here you are. Welcome to the show, by the by. All right, so I put everything in here. When I open this up, inside, I have a notebook. I got graph paper in case I need it. But more importantly, I have my entire campaign set up. So here's the raid at the Terms Farm. Has a great history. I talked about it when it happened 2 years ago. All right, so the raid at Terms Farm is there. Then I've got information about the Free City of Dragonsong, which is basically where my campaign takes place. Then I got the overall Eldritch Kingdoms campaign layout here. A little backstory for everybody. And then here is one of the campaign stories. This is the map for it. They've already finished it, so I'm not showing you anything crazy. Okay, and I keep all the characters, all the different adventures and that, the maps and everything here together. The neat thing about this is that I presented my players, and I remember showing you the board of all 8 different adventures they could have gone on. Oh, thank you. Now, wait, Brenna, come on over here. This is Brenna. Now, she's new to D&D. She's been playing for a little bit, but she is like your D&D problem solver. If you come to the store and you're looking for something D&D-ish, especially, that's the lady to go see. She will help you out with that and all the other RPG games that there are. I'm only going to talk about D&D because this is the Dungeon Corner.
What does that say?
Pathfinder.
What does that say?
Oh, see, here we go. Pathfinder. Okay, you got me.
Busted.
What did I tell you? Didn't I just get done telling you guys about this? Thank you for stopping by. But you guys can come and see her. You see what happens on the show? It's spontaneous. It's just, you never know what's going to happen. All right, so, but as we go on in here, you've got all the creatures that I use. I've also got all my other 8 adventures already set out. Now, I don't have everything. Yeah, I got busted, John. I know, man. It's like that sometimes. But I've got most of my monsters, main characters, the background, like the Undead Uprising. That's one of the campaigns that they can go on. And I've got like a little picture of, okay, there's the temple, the picture of the map. Bye-bye, that's all you get. There goes your preview. But anyway, so I have all this set out. And Dungeon Masters, I really think you should. Sometimes we only focus on the one campaign that they're going, or the one adventure they're going to be going on. My suggestion is you break it out into however many paths. I mean, I broke it up into 8, simply because at that time I was working on the chaos. It came to because I was working on the chaos part of the campaign, and it has 8-pointed stars. So I'm like, oh, I'll make 8 of these things and just lay them all out, right? So and I did, and it works out great because they could have picked any of those, and I would have been ready for it. All right. Now, some of the things that help me within the game. Now, this is from my Wednesday night game. Let me show you my Wednesday game, my stuff for my Wednesday game, right? So, as you all know, I have the Mines of Phandelver. That is the campaign I'm running. So, I bought the 2 box sets, plus the 3rd that just came out. It comes with the map, which is also helpful. Let me tell you something. There is nothing better than visual effects for your players. There's the whole Sword Coast. I mean, there is nothing. I can tell you, the more visual effects that you can give them, things that they can see, touch, grab, feel, whatever, it's awesome. It really, really is. So here's the book for the Mines of Phandelver. All right, so I have that. Read your books. Whatever adventure you're running on the map. You better not, Sarah. That's so wrong. All right, so we have fun on the show, as you can tell. But in the Mines of Phandelver, when you're going to run something, you can kind of plan out, okay, so this is going to take me about an hour to do, hour and a half. So you read through, you understand what it is. And then what I do is, if there's any special characters that I actually want to really talk about, then what I do is, where'd I put them? Oh, here they are. Kind of got ahead of myself in what I want to talk about. But so this little stack of paper here for me as a DM. I've got the innkeeper Robert. I've got his wife Sylvia, who they've met. A couple of other guys, Gunther, which is the merchant that they'll meet. Another character that I'm not going to talk about because I haven't met him yet. And other important people that they'll meet during that first initial. I have them all here on paper. Now, I can have them on my computer. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? I've told you guys that. But it's something that you got to carry around. I got a little notepad, but not a notepad, a little Google book thing. It's not a Google book, but it's a nice little, small little computer. Has enough information for me to write everything on it. And I do keep it there in case, but I always have the paper backup just because things can happen. All right. So that's very important. 2, my dice. I killed 2 birds with 1 stone here at the collective. I'm telling you, they have everything that you need. And for Christmas, from my daughter, I got the Norse Foundry box with the beholder on it because, as everybody knows, that's one of my favorites. And it holds 6 full sets of dice. Okay. 6 full sets. I keep all the 20s in the middle. It carries my dice, and it has the added beauty that it also as acts. Oh my God, let me get it out. Acts as a rolling tray. So it's nice and compact. It fits, it closes up, keeps my dice safe. And there we go, right? So I use that. Now, here's something neat. And I want to talk about this because this is actually the reason I brought these three is because somebody asked me about it. One of the DMs, the new DM says, well, I've got this board, but it's different than your DMs. Your DM screen is different than the one that I have. And that's true because, all right, so this is what we were talking. This is what I'm talking about. So in this one, this is the one that you get in the Essentials kit, which is the Phandelver one, all right? So there it is. Beautiful outside. It's different. The screen itself is different. And all of them, all the DM screens, different editions are. And inside, this one has the actions that you can do in combat. I like this. I like this one in particular. Let me get my glasses so I can read again. You know, that's just the way I am. Got to have them to see that small print. All right, so here we go. Actions in combat has a little panel for it. Long jump, high jump, concentration, things you can do on your turn, right? Which is great for starting DMs. Okay, and then we got conditions. It tells you all the different conditions that characters or monsters can have. Then here, it's really neat because on this half is the meat and drink of it. So we got setting a DC, tracking DC. So if you're chasing somebody or following somebody on soft ground, on dirt, on bare stone, each day that's gone by is really neat. Damage by level, okay? You can kind of look at it. It says setback, dangerous, and deadly, and that's kind of explained in there. Object armor classes. So if you have a, you know, if you have a glass vial, it has an armor class of 13. So you know in case somebody wants to shatter it. You've got skills and associated abilities, which is really nice because you look at it and your skill, your acrobatics, and your dexterity is kind of like on the character sheet, but you can look, it's a quick glance. Food, drink, and lodging. How much is that meal going to cost them at the end? How much will it cost them to stay there? It kind of gives you some services that they can have. Coach cab between towns within a city, a hireling, a skilled one or untrained one, a messenger, a road or gate toll, and a ship's passage, if that's where you're going with it. Travel paces, obscured areas, encounter distances, cover, what it provides as far as an armor class effect, and the light sources. So this is really nice. And then it even goes this little chart that kind of tells you, okay, a tiny, small, medium, large, huge, and gargantuan. Gargantuan, okay? So this is a really nice beginner screen. I love it. I use it, by the way. I do use it. I keep one with me, which is why I have it. Now, the next screen, and this is why, this is where the differences begin. This is one of the Dungeons and Dragons screens. I can't remember where it came from. Remember, if you rent a horse, make sure you know how to ride it. Cough, cough. That's so wrong. The things that come up. Okay, now this one. I told everybody when DC was here, he told you all about his barbarian and the horse. Yes. So on this screen, you can tell it's a little different. It's laid out right in the middle. You've got the conditions. This time to the left, though, you've got. This is actually designed for like NPCs on the fly. That's the way I like to call this one. This is the NPCs on the fly. So here you have this whole panel is dedicated to NPCs, creating NPCs on the fly. So you've got characteristics, ideals, bonds, flaws, and a name. It even has a name generator. You know, beginning, middle, and end. So if you roll a 5, you get A. You roll a 12, you get A pen. And you roll 4, it's I. So Appenai. Okay? So you can use that for a character, you use it for a tavern, hey, whatever. Then you got your conditions just like in the other one. All right, exhaustion table. You got your cover, obscured areas, light, and then you still have your setting of DC and skills and associated abilities. You've got travel pace, encounter distance, damage. Now, something a little different. Something happens. So they're in a dungeon, something's going on. DC, yes. Poor DC. An event happens, a door opens. Someone has a sense of foreboding. Unexplained magic occurs. And then you got quick finds. So what did they find? Okay, oh God, I don't know. Oh, they found a map. They found a tome. They found a body, a food or drink, a piece of jewelry. So this is a little bit different. This is more of an add-on, I would say. I would consider this like an add-on to the first book, to the first Dungeon Master screen, right? Really nice. Oh, by the way, let me show you the artwork. The artwork on all of them. Now, that one was made out of hard cardstock. This one is made out of cardboard itself, and that's what it looks like. It's very nice. Okay, there you go. That's the full of it. All right. Ooh, let me turn it. There we go. All right, there it is. Now, the last one I'm going to show you is a special edition one. This came in, and I cannot remember what this came in, to be honest with you, because I have so many of them, but it's gorgeous. This is like the special edition of soft, the felt feeling type that you see on some of the books, and this is what it looks like. Okay, we'll start over here, over here. So there it is. It starts there with the adventuring party, and as the panels go by, there's a dragon in the distance, and there you have it, right? Very nice. It's gorgeous. Now, on the inside of this one, it's also a little different. This one has the actions in combat, kind of like the first one, right? And then it's got the long jump, suffocating, concentration, things you can do on your turn, kind of like the very first book. And it's got the conditions in the middle. Prone, restrained, we can just go on, setting and DC, skills associated. Now, this one adds a couple different things that are really neat also. So they're all a little different. Some have a lot in common. It's like they'll have their actions that you can take, setting a DC, tracking, damage, the object armor class skills. This one has travel pace services. Okay. Obscured areas adds the weather. Now, this is more of an outdoorsy kind of thing where where weather comes into play, cover, light, encounter distance, audible distance, visibility outdoors, food, drink, and lodging, and foraging. So this adds a few items from an outdoorsy type thing where you got foraging. It's gorgeous. I really like that one. It is. It's beautiful. What series is that from? I don't know, unfortunately. I don't know. I know it was from a special edition. That I do know. But I couldn't, for the life of me, I can't tell you, not because I don't want to, but because I don't know. I might show it to Brendan, and Brendan might be able to sit there and go, oh, that's from this edition. I mean, and then again, so many editions come out that it's kind of hard to pinpoint them. Now, I also have the one that came in Tasha's, but I haven't even opened that. That's a gorgeous. I opened it to see it, and that's it. I closed it back up and put it back in there. The black version of that Tasha also has a different cover. They're gorgeous. They're beautiful. But they're very useful. In fact, you could use all three of these, and you would have just about everything in the players and that you need to run your players for the day. That's how much information is actually on here. Three screens, maybe a bit much, but hey, what can I tell you? Now, I also bring a whiteboard with dry erase and wet erase markers so I can make notes on there, real quick notes from time to time. And then, of course, let me show y'all something neat. Hold on. Oh, this. And yeah, this is Pathfinder. Here we go. Let me see. Is anybody in here? No. Good. Well, I hear somebody typing back there, so it must be Brendan. Oh, that's okay. This is a Pathfinder combat pad. It's very neat. As you see, those are the characters in my Wednesday campaign. Xavier, Snottictor, Thorin, Grayson, Aslan, Pebbles. And those were the three creatures that they were fighting this last Wednesday. Wolf B, Wolf C, and Wolf A. And what I do with this is Tasha is the boss. Is that what it's from? Tasha is the boss? But anyway, so let's say the initiative starts with Pebbles, and then it's Aslan. Then you got Wolf B and Grayson. Now I'm just kind of making this up. Thorin. And then for some reason, the two wolves. And then Xavier and Snottitor. So there it is. That would be the initiative for this combat. And it would stay like that. And over here, I can make notes. I can put little notes. If something happens, I can make notes. It's also the same on the back. So the neat thing is I can have this facing the players, make some notes for myself on this side. Hey, you're first. Yes, Sarah. Pebbles is first. She gets to act first. Don't fall off the horse. And what I do is I put this in a little stand, just like this, and it sits there the whole initiative round. So it's nice. If players just look at it, we know what the initiative is for everybody. And it comes with a sheet of magnets. Now, I didn't bring the whole sheet, but it also has It has these the creature ones, and then it has these green ones for conditions if you want to use them. Okay, so here go the green ones. You can use these for major NPCs if you want to, which I think is what I do with them. And then the brown ones are actually for conditions. There's a light brown one also, and it has all these neat little magnets that you can use with them. It's a very useful tool. I also have my little stones. I have these to mark boundaries sometimes or areas of effect, which I also have that. There's so much. Let me tell you, there's so many things to help you Dungeon Master that is crazy. And then I always bring these with me in case for some reason, let's say 3 of my players can't show up and I got to do something on the fly. Well, guess what? I keep this little book of reincarnated tactical maps on me. And it's awesome because I can go in here. Look at this. If I want to pull out, let's say we're going to, I don't know, let's go and do something cool at a tavern or at a fort. Look at this. So there's the fort, right? One part of the fort. And here goes another little part that I can use. Or I can use this as a little town, a little village, right? Okay. As part of it or on its own. I can jump over here and say, let's go explore a little dungeon. Nothing major. Pop this out. Oh, okay. And there we go. We got some caverns. Maybe somebody's worshiping Loth, the Spider Queen here. Okay, we got some caverns on one side. We got a nice dungeon on the other. So, yeah, they are awesome maps. These are the reincarnated tactical maps. And I always keep this with me because I want to know if something happens. I may never use them, but if something does happen and I have to run a quick game, I have these maps. I can just put something together. You know, I can even use the same monsters that I have in miniature-wise. So, here we go. But this is neat because it comes with creature size and space and the templates. It actually has the templates that you can put over there. Areas of effect, line of sight. Really nice. Once again, you can get them at the collective. It's all right here for you. Okay, I'm not telling you something you can't just come and walk into here and get. Now they may not have it at the moment, but they'll get it for you. Trust me. All right, so that's what I'm gonna say about being a dungeon master. Oh, one last thing: miniatures. Like I said, DMs, come prepared with miniatures. Okay, like for my miniature here, this event has, in Phandelver, for those who have played, you have to escort a wagon of supplies. There goes my wagon miniature with its horses that lead it. Fits right over top of them. Look at that, huh? Very cool. All right, there we go. Ta-da! 2 horses, the wagon. Add the player characters. And then, eventually they make camp. So I got little figures for camps, for the tents around the camp. All right. And, of course, there's bandits, and here come some of the bandits, and there's wolves. Remember I told you the wolf? Here goes Wolf B, I think. But anyway, miniatures. I always come with miniatures. And underneath this neat miniature bag, I have a whole horde of goblins in a full tray. There's like 30, 40 goblins down in there. Fully painted, fully ready to go. These miniature bags are awesome. They make so many of them. I'm not going to tell you which brand is best because I just recently bought one here, a Games Workshop one. And it's awesome. It's this perfect size for what I need it for. Because what I like to do is I'll show you. This bag always has as its foundation this tray of miniatures. I'm not going to pull it out. I'm not going to pull them all out because I've shown them to you, but it has this tray of miniatures, and that's nothing but the goblin horde I was just telling you about. See? There are many in there. Look at that. There's what? 2, 4, 6, 8, 16, 22, 24, 25, 27, 31, 35, 37. There's 39 miniatures in here that are all goblins. Archers, shield and sword, shield and spear, shield and mace, a leader, a shaman, and a war drum. So I can create just about anything on the fly if I have to. Like I said, I just keep certain things with me in case I need them. Well, do I need them all the time? No. But in case I do need them, I got them. All right. So that's what I believe. That's what I say when I'm well prepared, just in case I am. All right. And you got to practice what you preach. I mean, no one's perfect, I know, but I try. I try to keep that ready for them in case something happens on the fly. I need to go and do something. All right. So that's it as far as the DM. That's what I would keep together to try to, kind of stay ready for things. Now, player-wise, and I showed you, now we're going to talk about the player-wise. Everything for that, because I don't need a ton of miniatures and I don't need all these maps and I don't need, all this other accessory stuff. What I do is I keep that in this bag. All right. So like I said, up here, I keep my miniatures if I need that many. Because this can double as a DM's bag, by the way. But in here, I've got, and I've shown you this, but here's my player's handbook. Gotta have it. All right. Yep. Yes. Once again, you can have the digital copies, but here it is. All right. If somebody wants to use my player's handbook and they need it, I'm not going to give them my phone. How many people just, here you go, take my phone and build a character. An hour later, my phone's been being used for an hour. No, I got a player's handbook they can use. Here you go. Use this one. All right. All the information I need as a player is in there. Of course, I've told you many a time, I love these sheets. Here's, this is Jaliel, my Bard Warlock at 9th level. Here he is at 10th level, but there he is at 9th level. There's his character, all the information for him, all his treasure. Here goes all his spells. And on the bottom, I have notes. I have my potions, my scrolls, what ring I have of storing with his spells. Here goes my Warlock. Okay. There go all my magical items that I have, from a Staff of Power down there. Hereward's Handy Haversack, which I think every character should try and find one, if not a bag of holding. I have a wand of magic missiles, a Frostbrand, some gauntlets of ogre power, an instrument of the bard, McFernthith Cittern, and the glamored studded leather. Then I got all my spells that I have handy, so I know what I have to cast and what it does, its casting times, how long it lasts, all that good stuff. All right. And then back here, I haven't added it in yet, but I have some notes that I have in a notebook. I just got to type into the computer, print, and put in here so I have them. But there's everything, my player, my character with all its spells and magical items and all that good stuff. Of course, you guys have seen my dice tray that I use as a player. It's Purple Dragon. My wife gave it to me. And I'll answer the question, yes, why do I have like 2 and 3 different dice trays? Well, just simply because when I Dungeon Master, I don't want to, what'll happen sometimes, and this has happened to me and what taught me the lesson. Because experience is a wonderful teacher, I'll tell you. And if you listen to it, it'll help you not make the same mistake again. I, at one time, carried all my dice in one bag. And I carried a dice tray, and I carried a bag. And then when I went to Dungeon Master, of course, I had my player's bag, and then I had my DM's bag because I didn't want to carry everything together. And once upon a time, I forgot my dice. And I'm like, ooh. So, yeah, no big deal. I got a couple more dice. I bought some more dice just to use at night. But I was like, ooh, embarrassing. You show up to the game as a Dungeon Master, and you left all your dice at home because you're moving it from one bag to the next bag to the next bag. So, since I've been doing this for a little while, I learned my lesson. And I didn't go out and get all these dice all at once, but I separated all my dice. I decided, okay, in this bag, and I'm not going to pull out all the dice, but as you can see, in my dragon bag, which I got a couple Christmases ago for myself, but I ordered this. It holds about, there's like 400 dice in there or so. All purple. These are my player's dice. Why do I have so many? Because you can never have enough dice. Simply put, you just can't have enough dice. There it is. That's my player's dice. With my player stuff, take all my spell cards just for my player and my little tin for my character. It's my bard tin, okay? I've shown you that before. I'm not going to show it to you again. I just want to show you. Then, of course, I have, like I said, my Beholder, the Norse Foundry dice tray that doubles as a carrier for all my dice. These are my DM dice. Now, here's the funny thing. These are my DM dice for on the go. I have 6 sets of dice that travel with me wherever I go and run games. Okay? Then, of course, I don't have them here, but you have seen them because once upon a time I brought in the box, my DM's box that my wife got me for Christmas. It's a base with drawers. It's got a double-sided rolling tower. It's got 5 drawers in it, and then it flips out into 4 panels, which have cork and dry erase on them. Beautiful. It was specially made in California. And no, I don't know who it was. Like I said, that's just a unique gift. And in that one, I have all my black dice, colored black dice. So they're black with everything in color: blue, yellow, red, green, white. And those are my DM dice for at home. Those never leave the house except the one time that I brought them here to show them. That's where it stays. Doesn't go anywhere else. This is my traveling. That's my players. Everything's separate out. I have all these dice, and it's a wonderful thing because you can never have enough dice no matter what. Right? Trust me on that. So now you've seen everything. And now I won't say everything because that's not true. There are a lot more things that you can add to this, and that's where it becomes personal preference. And I can't show you everything. I show you new things as they come in, but I don't carry all that with me at all times, nor do I own all that. Okay, I don't have it going on like that yet. Win the Powerball, that's a different story. But anyway, I use what I need, what I think I need, what I want to use. It's a preference thing, and that's what you can do. I have lots of miniatures at home, more than what you see here: painted, pre-painted, unpainted, metal, plastic. You know, I've been collecting miniatures. My brother, I remember showing you that little box that he gave me from Ren Fair in New York, that he bought an entire box of pewter miniatures from back in the 80s. I mean, those things are old. They don't even make metal ones hardly anymore, and definitely not those casts. They're older, a little bit more raw than they are today. I think they do a great job with the miniatures today. Some of the unpainted ones come pre-primed, which is a beautiful thing. Saves you the trouble of primering, you know, getting too much primer here or there. They're wonderful miniatures. And they come in all kinds of manufacturers. They have the Magic the Gathering miniatures. They have the, whatever they're called. Yeah, the D&D miniatures. I mean, they're just amazing. They're well built, well done. They last. I've had some of those forever. And so that's all preference. Do I buy a miniature and paint it myself? Do I buy a pre-painted miniature? Do I make a custom miniature online somewhere? That's all up to you. You know, the one that I travel with a lot, I painted it myself. And some are pre-painted. I just use them because I like the way they look. They look really cool. The one that I have for my home campaigns, Labyrinth at home, is a bard, a bardic rogue, and I use them as both because even my rogues always have an instrument. They perform like a bard. That's their cover sometimes, most of the time. And so that miniature plays both, but I had that specially made. It's unique. It's posed the way I want it. It's got the things on it that I want, the colors that I want. All right. You know about that kind of thing. Go online and look for it. So there's a lot of variation in what you can do as a player. This folio is a generic folio. It's got one of my favorite characters on it, Minskin Boo, okay, riding through the astral plane, the ethereal plane, on the back of a star dragon, I guess that is. But it's cool. And that's just what I use for him. And in the other ones, I have the fighter for one of my fighters. I have a rogue one for my pure rogue. I have a bard one. The characters all have theirs. The players that play have their characters in those sheets. There's all kinds of different types of folios that you can use. I like the ones here because I'll tell you what I like. And then once again, personal preference, right? So I like to grab something, look at it, see if I actually like it in hand, and I kind of think it through so I can buy it and boom, put my stuff in it and see if I like it. Then I'll get more. So I buy everything in a store. And it's great. And I'm not saying anything is bad to buy stuff online, but here's what I will tell you. Playing how to put this? Okay. So I come to the store and I buy my things. I patronize them. And then I come here and I play because they provide an area for me to meet people, to play the games that I play. So support your store is what I'm trying to say. As a D&D player, I've been playing for a very long time. I think that's an important part of the industry that kind of gets left out. You hear a lot of shows talking about, I'm sponsored by this, I'm sponsored by that, and that's great to be sponsored by them. But where are you playing? Are you playing at home? Well, that's cool. Do you come to the collective and play? Well, then it's time to patronize them. Patronize, help them out. And sometimes you just have to try at least 5 different ways until you find what works for you. That's actually very true. Sarah's got a good point there. Sometimes you do have to try 4, 5, sometimes 10 different ways before you find what works for you. And that's the neat thing, the individuality of the game and the diversity of the game is that, I mean, I have like 4 or 5 different characters running around. I don't play those campaigns all the time, but I have them, and I have them in different things that I can tell, hey, that's my bard. That's my magic user. Oh, there's my cleric. There's my warlock bard who's in this one. And that's important, you know, and you got to try. And they're all different characters. I mean, the bard warlock was something that I just tried. I've never played a warlock before. So I tried to incorporate him with the bard. It's a fun thing. He's a support character. That's all he is. He doesn't go out. He doesn't fight on the front lines. He's not your, I am magic incarnate. No. You know, that's why he has a staff of power. Because he's not magic incarnate, but he has a staff of power. I'll tell you that. The cool thing about him is I use a lot of wands. The wand of magic missiles is just one of like 2 or 3 that I have. You know, and I just have different items. Now, you can only have, unfortunately, 3 items that are bonded to you, is what I call them, bonded. There's another word for it, but anyway. But all the unbonded ones, I got multiples. I carry potions. You know, that's just the way he's a support character. He carries a lot of scrolls. That's who he is. He is there to support the characters, not to be the main fighter, not to be the main anything. He delves into a lot of different things. Excuse me a second there. Ooh. And that's what you can do with your character. And then I got a dedicated rogue that's all he does is he does rogue stuff. He doesn't do, I never pickpocket unless it's extremely important. I'm more of a trap and lock kind of guy, you know, sneak up on people, shank them. That's what I like to do with the rogue. You know, my fighter, believe it or not, my fighters, there's nothing great about them. There's nothing special. I designed them to go up there and just beat on things and get beat on, because that's my job as a fighter. I carry a shield. I wear the best armor that I can. I carry the best magical weapon that I get my hands on. That's what I do. Okay? I leave the magic and all that stuff to everybody else. So when it comes, I build them to be the tank, you know. And that's what I like. And once again, here it goes. Personal preference. It's what works for me. All right? Sarah said it took me a bunch of different character sheet formats to find one I really like the flow of. And that's just one of the 2. Good point. Character sheets. Oh my gosh, somebody asked me about that. I'm glad you brought that up. I almost forgot. I got so caught up in the dungeon screen. On the flip side of the questions, because I brought 2 questions today. The first one was the one about the Dungeon Master screens because they're so different, right? The other one is the formats on the character sheets. Oh my gosh. Look, there's the basic one that comes in the player's handbook, and it's a great format. It's very basic. It gives you all the information that you need. But if you go out on the internet, even things that have been produced by Dungeons & Dragons, there's all kinds of formats out there. There are books that you can add sheets to. There are books that come like a notebook and have a bunch of sheets in there. And you can just go crazy talking about, we could talk for a month, I think, of shows just on the different types of sheets and what they provide and what they don't provide. Listen, I've even been known, my 3.5 character in my friend Billy's campaign, which is the Temple of Elemental Evil, remember I told you about that, is actually on an Excel spreadsheet. I do have a sheet of him just in case that crashes and blows up or whatever, but my character's on an Excel spreadsheet that I created just because that's the way I wanted him to be. All right? So, yeah, that's all I'm going to say is yeah. When it comes to player character sheet formats, and not the sheet itself, but the format. When we want to talk about what the format is. Okay, so the front sheet should always have like your abilities and your skills and whatever. Other than that, in your name, your character class, maybe in your level, I definitely armor class, movement, hit points, initiative, that kind of stuff. But everything else, you could. There's so many. I'm not even going to go into it. There's just a lot of formats, and Sarah did go as a player. She went through and Tony and I gave her a couple that we used. She looked at them, and she ended up finding something that was much more her style. It was what she's comfortable with. She goes through it. Same thing. My wife is going through that, Christina, where she has a character sheet, but she has another character book, and she's kind of looking at things. And once again, when she finds one that's good for her, she'll stick to it. My daughters who play, and Tony, of course, has his own. I think he's using a book in my one campaign at home. He uses the folio in another. So, there's been times, like I said, I just print my character out and I have them handwritten. I've done that before and just kept them that way because it was easier than transferring them to a sheet because I just like the way I happened to do that format that day. And that's okay. So there you go. Personal preference on character sheets. So to answer your question, there is no simple format. I think that you definitely need to have your attributes, your skills, name, level, class, race, your initiative, your armor class, your hit points, your movement. And other than that, the world is your oyster. Toss it around however you like. Move those sheets around, move the information around. If you're one of those that want to put things on each, I've actually seen it where what I just told you is on the front page, and that's all that's on there. And then you flip a page, and the next page has all their skills. Really neat. It said like, what is it? It'll say like dexterity, which has quite a few different skills added to it. And it has the saving throw. Oh, saving throws should be on the front page also, I think. And then their spells were on another one, and all their rogue abilities were on a sheet. And it's just really neat the way they set that up, but that was their preference. And I think other than the essentials that I just talked about, as far as skills in that and attributes, it's up to you in the order that you want them in, how much information you do want, how much information you don't want. In my group, they said, well, what should I write down? I said, whatever you do. I mean, I've known players that'll sit there and under skills, under traits and proficiencies, they'll put player PHB, page 175, paragraph 3, P3. And that means they go to that. If they have any questions about it, they go to that page in the player's handbook, look at the paragraph, and bam, there's the write-up for it. They don't reduplicate it. Some people will write the thing on there. They'll write shorthand. They'll only put what's relevant. Once again, it's whatever you feel comfortable with. All right. So I think I've talked long enough. I think I've covered a lot of stuff. It was supposed to be a simple little sit down, let's chat for a few, and it turned into something else. But there's so many things, so many tools I didn't even go over.
Nothing's simple with you, John.
And that's true. Brendan just says it's never simple with me. I just get carried away. I could talk forever, but I'm not. No, I wouldn't do that to you guys. But I threw a lot of stuff out there for you from a personal point of view. Remember, this is just me as a dungeon master. These are my thoughts on how to make it a little easier for you. Remember, I promised you I would give you some hints and show you some of the stuff that I use as a player, some of the hints. And even though I went through it in the other, I kind of grouped them together into one day because I got those questions. And I'm like, you know what? They're important questions. They're very relevant to the game and important to the game. I mean, your character sheet for your player character is about as close as you can get to your character. It has informations and secrets and your background and all kinds of stuff on it. So it's important that you be happy with it. And as a DM, it's good to know that there's a lot of tools out there to help you. Which ones you use are the ones that are comfortable for you, not necessarily for me. And you may use other things that I don't even know about, which I love to hear about, which is why if you have questions, suggestions, thoughts, send them to johnsdc2021@gmail.com. And then I end up answering them here, and I may pass them on here. Okay? So that's it for today. Oh, and drop and give me 20. I love it. So anyway, this is John from John's Dungeon Corner at the Collective in Altamont Springs, Florida, saying, may the road always rise up to meet your feet, and may all your adventures be successful. Don't forget, MegaCon's coming up. Look for the Collective booth there. The Dungeons and Dragons movie's coming up. I'll be at the Riverview Theaters on the 31st. And hey, come on Wednesday and let's say hello. Other than that, have a great weekend. Take care, and I'll see you next Friday. We're probably going to talk about miniatures and painting next Friday. That's what's on the schedule anyway.
Oh, John.
Yes.
John, we got a big something else that we don't
Wait.
yet.
Wait.
This Saturday.
Don't
This Saturday
stop.
we got Painting with Fiona.
Oh,
But Painting with Fiona
Here we go.
is actually going to be where we're going to be painting some terrain and getting it ready for the new space. So all of your tabletop terrain, which can be used for D&D too.
Yes.
We can have all of those.
Yes, we're going to talk
Yeah.
about that later,
If you
but there you go.
If you
Tomorrow.
want to come out, that'll be tomorrow, Saturday.
Tomorrow.
at 10 a.m. We're going to have some stuff out here. People can paint it, make it look good. We're going to get some stuff.
There you go. And Fiona is an amazing. In fact, I'm gonna try and finagle her to come out here on a Friday. I don't know if it's gonna be possible, and I may have to do like a Saturday show or something to get her out
She's
here.
showing up on Fridays.
And I'm gonna talk to her and get a painting class to do a quick little. She's amazing. That's all I'm gonna say. Speed painting,
very amazing.
basing, miniatures, terrain. She is awesome. So she's gonna do that tomorrow. So if you want to come tomorrow, it'd be a great time to meet her and learn some stuff and help the store while you're at it. All right. So other than that, I'll see you next Friday. See y'all.